right now. Perfect. Beautiful. All right, now to do the same, let me just activate TikTok. Bear with me a second, guys. I think I figured it out. Okay, gotcha. So I gotta put the camera on this one. And then turn this one off. Okay, so it's gotta be this way. Perfect. Okay. All right. Perfect. So we are live over here. We are also live on TikTok. Got the chat open. Perfect. So now, gotta stretch this out over here. All right. Mic check, camera check. So the camera's looking good on OBS. Camera's looking good on. It's looking good as well on the multi-stream. So we are live, everybody. How you doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move these things over here. Okay. So now, all right, perfect. All right, guys, how are we doing? How's everybody? Everybody tuning in right now? Good, 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 good. You guys taking any trades today? Because I'm gonna explain to you the setups that I've taken today. So I've had a US30 trade, a sell position on US30, and also a sell position on the Nasdaq, and also on gold. I've had a nice sell position. So everything I was shorting the market today. So all three positions I shorted the market, and I'll explain to you why I took these setups and what happened inside them. All right, so let's open up. We're right now looking at Nasdaq. Okay, so for everyone who's paying attention right now, we're looking at Nasdaq. Let me pull up MT4. I can explain my setup. All right, perfect. So 930 came through. All right, I had two break-even trades over here. So I had a buy position over here. All right. a buy position over here. As soon as I saw this rejection, I had a buy position there, and this pullback over here, I entered another buy position. Then it came down and stopped me out exactly at break even over here, and it also stopped me out at break even over here. But then after that move, it came down crashing a bunch over here. And then this is precisely where I locked in for another trade. Where was it? You know what's annoying about MT5 is the chart, you know, to zoom in and to zoom out and stuff is very different compared to the others. There's a huge contrast. Like once you're on the trading platform such as the MetaTrader app, it doesn't actually zoom in the way that you want compared to TradingView, which is a lot more friendlier. All right, so in this position over here, I've caught this trade. I've shorted the market heavily over here, right over there, precisely where I shorted the market. And I took the final TP over here at the lowest point. Yep, exactly. This was my main move over here. So this was the winning trade for NASDAQ. I'll come back to it. Let me also just chart what's happened on the other setups. Okay, so let's go ahead and open US 30. So I can also take a vivid memory of what I took over here. All right. So let me open US 30. Trade history. All right, perfect. So we've had 1, 2, 3. Once price came down over here, it's precisely where I shorted the market. All right, I'll turn off auto scroll. All right, okay. So exactly over here is where I shorted the position. Okay. Right over here. Stop loss above. And I targeted right over here. Closed it right over here. All right. Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, or evening, depending where you're from. All right, so that would be my setup for NASDAQ. Dow Jones. And then the last thing is I'm going to be explaining my setup on gold. All right, let's go way back to London session. London session, where is London session? I really did go way back. Right? Over here. Okay. Alrighty then. All right, guys. So let's get into it one by one. We'll begin with gold. I'm doing good, bro. How you doing? I shaved my mustache. It's the first time I shaved my mustache in like a solid year. Like I've never actually removed my mustache before. So um in a whole solid year, never removed it. So it's kind of interesting how I feel about it. I feel a bit naked, to be honest, without it. I do look young, don't I? Look like a baby. All right. Trying to figure out where's the multi-chat. Multi-chat feature disappeared. Ah, there it is. Okay. All right, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so let's get rid of this. Okay, so for starters, today we've had a very nice swing trade. Like the morning today was very nice. We haven't had a red folder news today, so it was pretty clean price action. We didn't have anything going on. Also, tomorrow we don't have any red news folder, so it's going to be clean price action for this week. Even Wednesday we don't have red folder news. Only Thursday we do, and probably Friday. No, so it's just Thursday that we have news. So to this week is actually a very nice week in order for you guys to catch some good solid moves, right? So that being said, let's get into the reason why I took this trade today. So for starters, this is London session, and what I've noticed in London session is a lot of gold reversals usually happens in London session. So whenever London session comes up and it opens up, you'll find a lot of gold reversals. So whenever you know, whenever that particular session opens up, okay, so let me show you guys the chat window. London session opens up, price was already bullish, right? It goes up and then it reaches a peak over here. And once I noticed this, there's a peak over here, I went ahead and shorted the market for one simple reason. Number one, it's already pushed up all the way high. It broke the highs and continued going higher. But when it started going higher from over here, okay, it seems like there is a level of resistance, okay? It is not a simple level of resistance, it's a very clear level of resistance. You've had multiple highs over here, and the bullish candles are still pushing. You can still see the bullish candle pushing over here. There is relative equal highs over here, but I did not see any displacement to the downside. Then price comes back over here and it pushed even higher aggressively. But did it continue higher? No, it actually failed to break this high over here. You can see it. This tiny 1 pip does not mean anything. So it failed to push higher from there. And once it failed to push higher over there, it left behind a bearish displacement over here, which also broke the low over here. Once I saw that this low was broken over here by these candles, that was my cue that the market structure is shifting. And then once we got to this point over here, I've also noticed that price is actually reacting to this level very nicely. You guys see that? Let me get rid of these bot accounts. I've noticed that every time I go live, it's like instantly within the first 5-10 minutes, I'm just spammed by bot accounts, aren't I? It's very interesting. How do bots actually get away with these things? How do they exist? And they weren't there before, by the way. They weren't there before. No, they're very aggressive. Like they just come out of nowhere and they push through and they attack, and it's very interesting how they do that. Yeah. Okay, so once I start seeing relative equal highs, bullish displacement, but price fails to go higher and it respected this high over here. Okay. Followed by bearish displacement and then the break of structure, which is very clear and evident over here, right? Once I saw this, okay, it also had displacement here, it also had displacement over here. So when you have these double displacements, it means it's a clear indication that the market was shifting. And then once we got over here, you could clearly see that this displacement was filled and price doesn't actually close above it. There are relative equal highs over here, right? Relative equal highs. So now that we have relative equal highs with bearish displacement, then the next thing I see is this particular candle. This exact candle over here is the thing that gave me the full confidence in order to short this market. As soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, something big's going to happen. This is where I'm going to be going in. And from there, you can clearly see that price created a pullback, and that pullback is the reason for my sell entry over there. And I managed to scalp all this all the way down over here. And the same thing goes for NASDAQ. You can see the same thing happen in NASDAQ over here. And also, you can see there was another move that happened in London session. Relative equal highs right over there. See that price went up, got all the way over there, relative equal highs. It's all 1 minute time frame, yes. It's always 1 minute time frame with me, bro. I'm in and out. So you could see relative equal highs over here. Price came up, came back down, created displacement, took out the slow, and it came up, it filled the gap, it did not break above multiple times for you guys to enter, and then it just went downhill from there. So this is also another setup. And you could also catch the reversal, but I wasn't on the computer at this time. You could also catch the reversal. Price comes down over here. There's a bit of consolidation. So this is for anyone who trades order block. There's a lot of order block orders over here with a big clean bullish displacement candle above over here, which takes out all of these highs 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it leaves behind a trail of displacement candles. Price comes down, fills it, and it also leaves a nice pullback, which then goes higher from here, gives you another second entry, and then it takes off all the way up over there before coming back down over here and doing the same thing again and again. So we're getting some pretty clean price action today. You have multiple opportunities. Like, you guys can't miss this. If you've missed this, then you've really missed out on a lot of possibilities, because over here, you're going to see that there is multiple entries. You have one, right? This pullback over here. Then here, multiple highs, 2 relative equal highs with displacement. So this gives you 2, 3, right? Price comes back down, goes up, comes back down. And this is another entry over here. This is 4. And this is 5 over here. Okay. And then price takes off. This is 6. This is 7. And then the New York mumbo jumbo that we've seen before. This is particularly the place where a lot of people mess up, because everyone likes to trade the New York session head on without actually acknowledging of the fact that we have, a reversal over here where price goes up, and then eventually it reverses and breaks through over here. And this is the point where I actually had my break even trades, simply because I was bullish, and then immediately it reversed. And once it reversed immediately, I did not find an entry position until we reached over here, simply because this decision was made after I looked at the 4-hour. I've noticed that price is struggling to go higher, even though there was displacement over here and there was multiple entries. It failed to break this high. So now that we have a second relative equal high, that's precisely where I entered. Actually entered right here. Okay, once I saw this rejection wick, I immediately entered and I shorted the market, and I caught a very simple scalp here on the NASDAQ. A little bit late, a little bit later than I hoped for, but this was literally 20 minutes before New York lunchtime. Very straightforward stuff. And ever since then, it stayed in consolidation. And if you look at it on a 4-hour time frame, you could see that this candle was a very nice bearish engulfing candle. And you can also, if you look left, you'll see relative equal highs. So there is a possibility that the NASDAQ this week could actually go bearish because of the position it's at right now. However, it is still overall bullish, simply because the market structure is bullish. And as you guys know, the stock market right now just keeps going higher and higher and higher. There's actually no reason for it to go any lower from here. Yeah, based on the higher time frame, it looks like it reached its peak and it's exhausted right now. Yo, what is Nasdaq Dubai? What do you mean Nasdaq Dubai? Like Dubai's Nasdaq? I don't think we have one. I don't think we actually have one. Because I think I mean, the Nasdaq of Dubai would be D DF. Let me bring it up. It's this one. It's called DFM REI. So from what I remember, Dubai Financial Market Real Estate Index. Yeah, DFM REI. Let me see if I can get the watermark. Yeah, DFM REI. That is precisely the stock market of Dubai. Obviously, this is the start of the Middle East tensions, and you can see it dropped by 40%. And we've had some, bullish candles, displacement, pullbacks, another pullback, came back down, relative equal lows over here, very clean level of relative equal lows, and then now it's just booming once more. So, Dubai is making a comeback from what it seems. Not surprised. I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure if there is actually an NQ in Dubai. That'd be crazy though. That'd be pretty sick if there was a Nasdaq in Dubai. But I wouldn't trade it because at the end of the day, the Emirati dirham is pegged to the US dollar, right? So you might as well stick with um the uh Emirati dirham. And also you gotta understand that with the because it's not an American currency, there's a very high possibility that if you're trading it, you're gonna have very high spreads. Very, very high spreads. So since the market, as you guys can see, for the US dollar is going up. You can clearly see the US dollar is just creating higher highs and higher lows. So you gotta be looking to buy any US currencies like USD, JPY, look for buys. If it's GBP, USD, look for sells because the market right now, the US dollar is definitely bullish. So it's looking good. It's looking really good. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Bitcoin's been in consolidation for quite some time. Like the price action is really, really not that great. It's really not that great, but it is a bullish push. Like we are definitely bullish right now. Um, but the price action is really not that great. I'm still anticipating it to go lower because it's come to this point over here. And this area over here, it's like, how do I say? It's got a lot of liquidity, a lot of resting orders. So if price were to go up over here, it's a opportunity for the market to actually short aggressively all the way down to like 30K. So I don't think it will actually stay bullish for very long. I think it's actually going to be bearish in the long run. I think it'll be bearish in the long run. Am I lagging, by the way? Do you guys see me lagging? Like, is it smooth? Is the chart smooth? Am I smooth? Or is it like a bit of a lag? All right, I'll focus more on TikTok instead of OBS. I think TikTok's doing a lot better if I use the main camera over there.